Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Gentle Cowgirl. Today we're gonna do a little day in the life video, kind of show you guys what my morning routine looks like. There's Mojo. So the first thing I did today was I stopped by the feed store and I stocked up on hay and grain and some shavings. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of that unloaded. Follow me. There's everything, got all my shavings, got all my food, my grain, and my hay is back there. So we're gonna go ahead and get this all unloaded. Shavings. Now I'm gonna move on to unloading my hay. All right, hay is done. Onto the grain. So we're all done unloading the truck. Now comes the fun part. We got to get all these horses fed. So what I typically feed my horses is, it's called horse bloom. It's just from a local little feed store here called Joopy Mills. And it is a high fat grain basically. So it's 12%, which is a little bit higher than normal. And I like that for my horses because they are working horses. They're lesson horses, so they are getting used. So they need a little bit of a denser, more high calorie feed. I don't like to feed too much grain. Instead, I like to kind of give my horses more forage, what they would naturally eat in the wild. So I do supplement a lot of soaked alfalfa and I give a lot of hay. I think that's the most important thing, is just feeding your horses tons of hay, because that's what they would eat in the wild. That's what they're typically grazing on. Sadly, I don't have a lot of pasture area for my horses to graze on, so I feed lots of hay and then usually just like 2-3 scoops of grain a day. So here's my feed chart. This shows all the horses in my stalls and what they get. All their grain is in red. And then these are all my horses in the pens and what they get, and all their grain is in red as well. So let's get started with all my stalled horses. Let's go. First thing I do is I get my buckets. Get those all set up. I kind of just line them up on the floor. And then we'll get my scoop. Handy dandy scoop. And then we'll go for it. Okay, and then King, which is another one of my boarded horses. And for those that don't know, a boarded horse is basically a horse that is owned by someone else, and they pay you to keep the horse at your property because they don't have room for the horse at their house. So I have, I believe, 7 boarded horses right now. So King gets also a scoop of this. This is a biotin product, so it's just really good for mane and hair growth. I'll show you the front of that in a second. It's just a biotin. So let's go feed King. All right, this is gonna go to Stitch. Here he is. He's such a cutie. This guy is a baby. He's only like 3 years old, and he is a stud, and he's gonna be for sale soon. Here's Wasabi. Hey, buddy. There's Mojo. It's coming, it's coming. All right, so Mojo is my special guy. He takes supplements. He was having some major digestive issues, so I started him on these 2 supplements, and it's made the world a difference. When I add these powdered supplements, I always add a little bit of water into the feed first. Just kind of sprinkle it on there, because that's gonna help these powdered supplements to stick to your grain instead of just sinking to the bottom of the bucket. So I've been feeding him this Optizyme. I got it at Tractor Supply. It has a lot of really good reviews. I've been feeding it to him for about 3 weeks and have not had any issues since then. He was just struggling with a little bit of spastic colic before, so this stuff has really made a big difference in his gut health. It's basically just a probiotic. So he gets a scoop of this a day. Just sprinkle it in there right on top of the water. And then I've also been giving him the Daily Gold. It's like a stress relief supplement. Also really good for their digestive health. It's an all natural digestive health. This stuff is great. So many people swear by it. This is my first time ever using it with the horse, and I love it. I will definitely be purchasing it again. Sprinkle that in there, and then I usually just take my little cup. Show you guys what it looks like. You can see that, and we'll just mix it all in there. And that water just helps it to really stick to the grain. All right, let's go feed this to Mojo. All right, now that all the stalls are fed, I'm gonna go ahead and feed all of my pins out there. And I fill up my little wagon, and we're gonna head out. So this water is all good. It's filled up to the top. It is a little bit green at the bottom. So typically what I'll do with this is I'll let them drink it down until it gets to a level that I can dump it, and then I'll dump it and I'll scrub it. So that water is good for today. All right, so I'm all done with my hay and my grain. Last thing I'm gonna do before I leave today is I'm gonna go ahead and empty all my garbage cans so that way they're nice and clean.